A year ago today, I had a phone call with a friend of mine, and it turned out to be the last phone call because 2 days later, he passed away suddenly. And it was a shock to the system because although he'd had heart surgery 5 years previously, he wasn't doing too badly, to be fair. And it shook me to the core. Now, I'm a heart on my sleeve type of guy, but it didn't always used to be like that. For many years, I was closed off. I was introverted. I was one of those people that stood on the edges, never got involved in the middle of everything. Why, I don't know, because everybody tells me that I'm an outgoing kind of person, but for myself, I was very shy and always wanted to be out of it so that I didn't get involved. And what it did, it closed me down. I kept my feelings to myself. I wasn't one to share them with everyone. And that carried on through the years. A lot of it was down to self-doubt. I was in my 50s before I started to get comfortable with who I was. And I think that made such a difference to me when that actually happened, because then I felt like I could open up. In 2016, they discovered a lump on my kidney. It was scary because I didn't know what it was. There was a period of 10 days between when they discovered it and when I actually found out what it was. And in those 10 days, something struck me that hadn't before. And it was that the only things I was worried about in that whole time was how many more times was I going to see my children? Would this be my last Christmas? Will I make my next birthday? And my friends, how many times am I going to see them now? It's really funny. The only things that were of any consequence to me at that time were my friends, my family, the people I loved. It's really odd because we spend a lot of time worrying about what's going on around us in the world. We worry about what's happening in the news. We talk about governments and all that sort of stuff and how they're doing things wrong. We talk about the state of where we live. We talk about how the youth of today isn't what it used to be. And really, when it comes to it, none of that is important. Love is the only thing that you've got that is of any value at the end of the day. It's the only thing that you can take with you. And it's the only thing that keeps us going. And I'm not talking about loving your job, loving your new car, loving something on the telly. I'm not talking about anything like that. I'm not talking about loving your possessions. I'm not even talking about, I still love England for when they play football, even when they lose like they did in the Euros the other week. It's not about that at all. We can say that we love it when the sun's out, but that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the real value of it, because the real value of love is in our connection with each other, the people that we care about, the people that we meet on a daily basis. For so many people, they'll talk about their new cars, they'll talk about the house they're going to buy, they'll talk about the holidays they're going on. But you see, there's no real value in that. The value is in, like I said, your connection, not with your bank statements and your bank accounts, because at the end of the day, they're not important. It's caring about the people in your life It's about helping someone who's in need, but they're not going and telling the world what you've done. It's about those people that you call family. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I'm talking about your blood. My friend that's just passed away last year, I talked about right at the beginning, he was family. I'd known him since I was 18. We were friends for 45 years and never had a cross word. He was family, and that's why it hit me so badly. But you see what? Do you remember I said about I was 55, before I started to like myself? Before I started to appreciate who I was? Well, you see, until you can do that, none of the rest matters, because if you don't love yourself, you can't love anybody else. It is as simple as that. One of the things that I did once I'd got to that stage was that I realised there were people who'd gone out of their way throughout my life, really, to help me in different ways. And I'd never really thanked them for it. I'm not a face-to-face person, to be fair. I can't do it face-to-face now. But what I did was, on social media, I started telling stories of how people had helped me and what they did to help me, and started to thank them publicly. Now, it's not necessarily true that they were going to be able to see it themselves, because they may not have been on social media, but I did make sure that I did it in places where people who knew them could tell them and pass it back to them. And it's a wonderful thing when you do that, you know, because it's really nice to give gratitude to someone who's done something for you. But the comeback from it is even better, because I got messages from people saying they were choked when you said that. They didn't realise they'd made that much impact on your life. And isn't that great when you can do that? And it takes love, I suppose, to be able to do that. It's not the romantic love that we all think of, or the lust, or all that sort of thing. I'm talking about that connection with the people that you come across in your day-to-day life. Yeah, it is all about that. And when you look around you, you can see love coming at you from all angles. It really can. If you look at it and think about it, I suppose it depends on the perspective you take. If you look at your connection with different people and the people that you care about, life can be great, you know. But there is a caveat to that. As I said right at the beginning, a year ago, I had my last conversation with my friend. 2 days later, he was gone. You never know how much longer you've got left. You could have years in front of you. You could have days. For some of us, it could be today. You don't know. But here's the thing. While you've got the chance, if you haven't done it for a while, get in touch with the people that you love and the people you care about. If you've got the chance and the opportunity, go see them. If you haven't, pick up the phone and just have a chat and let them know what you're thinking of them and that you care about them. While you still can, eh? I'll see you next time.